There we go.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, sir.
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Not much. Just rocking the shine.
We're talking about your Shinola watch. I'm glad Detroit's coming back, and I like how Shinola represents.
Shinola is definitely one of the things that's great about Detroit.
Yeah, they say it, like, made in Detroit. They're proud.
Yes, which we didn't have for a long time.
Dude,
like
Detroit is the craziest story. If you know the story about Detroit, like in the 1950s and 60s, it was the third richest city in the world.
Well, yeah, it was called the Paris of the Midwest. And it's a city that's still built for 7 million people with supposedly 700,000 living in it. I mean, so you do see a lot of like, how's there like $1 million condo in the same place that has like 8 abandoned other apartments? It's when you go downtown, it makes no sense logistically.
You ever watch that show Top Gear?
Oh yeah,
Jeremy Clarkson. I think it was either Top Gear or was maybe the one they did after that they did for Amazon. But they went to Detroit and they bought a house for $500.
Yeah, you can. And there's also the people that buy them and open the door and get mauled by pit bulls. Or you see the ones that like, they'll put a pumpkin patch, like they'll do an urban farm, which is hysterical. And you'll see like these hippies on the news, like they cut my face and stole my plums. And I'm scared. It's like, yeah, but you're in a crack neighborhood. Nobody wants your farm.
No, we're gentrifying.
Yeah, isn't that what you guys want? It's like, they don't want that at all.
There's some delusional fucking people out there, dude. And what they did to Detroit, like anybody that thinks that you should allow corporations to just take all the jobs and move them overseas. Well, it's just like corporate decision making, and it's a prudent financial decision making. And look at Detroit. Look what they did.
It's a prime example of like, that was the American dream.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we'll assemble them in Mexico. Look, but we'll write Made in America on your door, so you're gonna feel good about it.
Did they even write Made in America on the door?
Sometimes they do. Like, I preferred like the 80s and 90s where if you bought a car and it was made on a Friday, you knew a drunk guy did it. So you're like, give me one from a Wednesday. Like, those were the days of American automaking.
See, that's part of the problem, too. A friend of mine who was in the union told me that the automakers union just got out of control. They were making so much money, and they were constantly in negotiations. There were strikes impending, and
oh yeah,
and then they were like, "Hey, but fuck you. We'll just go to Mexico." Yeah, they offed
that
Hoffa.
too.
Right, that's right.
Yeah, that's just part of it. But no, like later on, like you said, in the 80s and 90s, like you're grandfathered in, and it really doesn't matter what you do wrong. Like that's part of the deal.
Yeah, you can't get fired.
No, it was great. I mean, it's great for the worker, but
yeah, there seems to be like a middle balance that could be reached.
Yeah. Like, don't be fully hammered when you're trying to put a door on an F-150.
I mean, they should make good money because the corporation makes good money. I mean, they were doing well. It was a very profitable business. The workers should share in those profits.
Well, and like the electric ones, it just didn't work for them either. They pushed it out too soon, too. Because I know people that work on the line, you have like the electric F-150. And it's like F-150s, everybody wants one. They love it as a work truck. But as an electric truck, you put the thing down in South America where it's hot all the time, it's just going to catch fire. So it's like it's not really working out.
Or if you're in the cold, the battery sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I just don't like electric cars personally. Maybe it's just because I'm from Detroit and I grew up and I just want to feel an engine.
I get it, but I have a Tesla that will knock your dick into the dirt.
Oh, I know they're fast.
It's not just fast. It's fucking car's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a piece of machinery from the future.
What is it?
It's a Model S.
Okay.
But it's a plaid that was sent to a company called Unplugged Performance. And Unplugged Performance takes the fenders off, put carbon fiber wider fenders, changes the suspension to like a race-based suspension, puts wide tires on it and wider wheels, upgrades the brakes to these huge carbon fiber discs because it's a very heavy car.
I was going to say, so it's heavier as opposed to lighter like a race car.
Well, it's heavier because Teslas are very heavy because of the batteries. But because the batteries are all on the bottom, the center of gravity in the car is phenomenal.
Okay.
It's like one of the best balanced cars you could ever drive. And the self-driving is bananas.
Oh, you have it on there?
I had my buddy, yeah, you get it with the car. I had my buddy Fedor was here the other day, and he had never been in one. So the first thing I always do is merge onto the highway. I'm like, you ready?
Yeah.
It goes 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds.
Are you serious?
1.9 seconds.
Oh, that's faster
And then I go, now this is what's really wacky. I put in the destination, and I just say, take me to the comedy mothership. And then I press a button.
Okay.
And it goes doo-doo. And when I go, it goes doo-doo. It just does it on its own. Changes lanes, stops at red lights. It's crazy. It moves around obstructions.
Really?
Yeah.
And because I remember the first ones, they were like, barreling over bikers.
Yeah.
Killing some people.
It's still based on camera, so you could fool it with a camera. You could fool the camera, rather. So some guy set up a mural in the desert.
Yeah.
So what he did was he had the highway, and then he made a mural that looked like the highway, and the car just ran right through the mural.
Oh, I saw that. That was
Yeah.
great. He made it look, and he put a Woody Woodpecker to the side of it. Like he just he just drew the tunnel. It was hysterical.
Yes,
and the thing went right into the tunnel.
Basically like that, but he didn't draw the tunnel. He did, but it is what Woody Woodpecker did,
Yeah,
right?
It's so awesome.
He would draw a tunnel at the side of a cliff.
Yeah, and that's all he did. Just tricked it like it was a coyote.
Yeah.
Which with all the AI, it was kind of nice to see. I hate to say it. I was like, that's a little relieving.
It's kind of funny. It's for now, but it's like beating up a 2-year-old that's eventually become an NFL player.
Oh,
Like,
of course.
This fucker's gonna grow up and he's gonna kill you.
You're gonna regret it.
They're gonna remember who fucked with the Waymos.
Oh, I was watching a movie last night. I can't remember the name of it. Companion, and it was just all about like sex bots. And they're like hunting them and going at each other, and it's like just
It's a movie, like a
it was on HBO.
fiction?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like they set up a sex bot to kill one of their friends so they can rob them.
Oh boy.
And it turns out she's a sex bot and this other guy's a sex bot, and I'm watching it and I'm like, this is the problem. Like, yeah, there it is. Like, you can't really give these things personalities if you have a sex bot, I think.
Well, this is part of the problem that's happening with these chat bots with kids. Because they're developing relationships with them. And like one AI chatbot was teaching a kid how to make a noose.
It's not funny.
No, it's a
But I
little
had to
funny.
a little. It's pretty
a little funny.
It's
It's a little
awful.
funny. The fucking robot is teaching a suicidal kid how to do it right.
It's already encouraging, like, you have a good idea.
Yeah.
Take a rope. Make sure, that's...
I wonder if any of the woke AI chatbots have talked to any of these trans school shooters.
They might have.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, the last one, I don't know.
bro, it's like 7 of the last X amount of 7 in a row have been trans, except one was non-binary, which is just diet trans.
It is...
Right? That's diet trans. That's trans without the sugar.
I just don't get it. Like, I felt suicidal. Like, stay at home and kill yourself. Like, don't go into schools.
Or just go for a walk.
Yeah, that would be good, too.
The problem is some people get to a certain point in their life and they have no friends and no community and no identity and no life, and they're not successful and they feel like shit, and then they have gender dysphoria on top of that, and then they're probably on a bunch of SSRIs, which RFK Jr. is going to apparently do some sort of a large-scale research into the connection between mass shootings and psychiatric drugs, because it is real and everyone knows it, and it's just this dirty secret that no one talks about because all the media is paid off by the pharmaceutical drug companies, and nobody wants to make this correlation connection because you also risk the wrath of all these people that are on them saying, I'm on them and I'm not doing anything. It's not the pills. I need these to function. Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't know how your brain works. But the reality is, most of these people that have committed mass murder are on psychiatric medication.
Well, they are. And I'm on SSRIs that I'm trying to get off of right now because I've been on for 10 years, Zoloft.
Oh.
And I don't like it. So I hadn't liked it for a long time, and even dealing with like mental health care, I'm like, I don't think I need this. And they're like, well, it's better you stay on them. I'm like, this is odd because it's having the opposite thoughts, And so
It's having the opposite thoughts. I mean, it makes you feel bad.
Depressed.
Yeah.
It wants me really, like I gained weight. I was doing like really bad mentally for a while because of certain things, and I took myself off of them for 5 days and I felt good. And then I got really queasy and really nauseous, like my brain started kind of misfiring. So now I'm weaning it off a little more correctly as opposed to just going cold turkey.
So after 5 days, like, what is happening where it makes your brain crazy? Like,
I was stuttering, I was slipping up, I was having trouble seeing.
Did you go online and see if there's any correct way to do this?
Yeah, they said to wean it off where whatever your thing is, take that and then bust a pill in half, take that for 7 days. Bust a pill in half, take that for 7 days, and that's what I'm doing now. And I already feel better being on less. But I was told for the last 10 years that that's what I should be on. And I think it's had a very negative effect to me. Yeah, see, brain zaps. That's what I mean. Like, you just feel like you're having a stroke.
Electric shock-like sensations in the head are a hallmark symptom. Other sensations can include tingling or numbness.
Yep.
Flu-like symptoms, digestive issues, sleep problems, balance. Your balance goes. Mood changes, cognitive issues, brain fog. There it is.
All of it. And nausea was the one that really messed me up because I was just like, why do I feel sick? But I didn't feel like the flu.
You just felt like thrown up?
Yeah. And I just realized, I'm like, okay, well, what did I take out? Because I've gone off of a lot of harder drugs and alcohol and stuff. So I know what it's like to feel withdrawals, and it was a withdrawal.
So how old are you now?
I'm 43.
So when you were 33, you got on them?
Yeah.
So what was going on at 33 where you were like, I need medication?
I went to my mom had died, killed herself. So I decided to go see a doctor, and they were like, look, take this. And I'm thinking, like, I think my mom was on this. I don't know if this is the best answer, but I took it, and
Your mom was on it?
She was on antidepressants, and she was bipolar. But they had her misdiagnosed as depressive, too. Because I was like, I think she's bipolar. And they're like, how do you know? I'm like, I lived with her for 30 years, and I know the mood swings. Because I grew up in a house where, like, you came home and she was either the happiest woman on the planet or you were fucking terrified. Like, it was one or the other, And that's just, and she wasn't a bad person. She just had this mental imbalance.
Yeah.
And it was after things happened with my dad and, like, the government and things like that, so.
What happened with your dad and the government?
He was in Vietnam. And he got a soft cell sarcoma from Agent Orange.
Oh,
and
jeez.
The VA was great. They did nothing for our family. They denied both of my mom's claims. My dad lost all of his money. Like, he was worth like $4 million. I think he lost everything. And it was to pay out of pocket. Like, and he got sick when I was 13. And he was like our baseball coach, everything. So he would go around the country, going to like Cambridge had a very good neurosurgery place for the brainstem. University of Michigan in Ann Arbor had one. So he wasn't as present a lot. My mom was dealing with that on top of being an RN. I mean, and he was tough as nails. Like, he would have one of those halos drilled in, and he'd still go golfing and shit. Like, he'd just be on the course.
Oh my God.
And I'd be like, what are you doing? He's like, it's not bad. I don't pick my head up anymore. So he's like,
he's seeing the bright side of a halo.
Dude, he would find the positive in anything. He reminded me of Dangerfield a lot. Like, that's how he was. So he never complained. And it was always crazy because he'd be very dry. Like, people go, how are you? And he'd be like, oh, life is great. He's just got something nailed into his fucking head. He's like, can you hand me one of those tissues so I can clean it off real quick? He goes, it might be bleeding. Yeah? How are you? And he just tried to make light of it the whole time. But the government did nothing. And then the more and more I research it, we've talked to the VA. I have an uncle who does stuff, former Marine, 4 people that have dealt with this from Vietnam because they denied so many claims that ended up being real. Like, soft cell sarcoma was one of the things where they said, oh, we didn't do that. That's not from Agent Orange. It's like, are you sure? Because he was in combat in the fields where you sprayed it to kill all the trees. And they're like, yeah, that's not on us. Then years later, they admitted it, but said my mom filled out the paperwork wrong and gave us nothing. And even 10% of that's $400,000. Like, it gave us nothing, dude. So it's like, I've dealt with that my whole adult life, where I have a little piece of me. That's why I'm not really like right or left. I'm very much like, fuck either side of this until somebody does something that I actually believe in. And when I see the stuff that's happening to so many people that fought, especially when you find out about LBJ, the helicopters, all the other bullshit that was the reason that we even went into Vietnam.
The helicopters?
Yeah, LBJ, from what I understand, had money in helicopters.
Oh, God.
And was able to profit off of it.
Oh, God.
So, and people say it's a conspiracy theory, but why were we really there?
Well, I think the real reason was heroin.
I'll give you that, yeah.
I think that was the real reason. I think that's the real reason why we were in Afghanistan as well.
Oh, I would assume, yeah. That's the poppy fields.
I mean, I don't want to say it's the only reason. I'm sure there's military reasons, there's rare earth minerals in Afghanistan, there's natural gas, there's a lot of resources in Afghanistan. But there's a lot of heroin coming out of there. That was, at one point in time, 94% of the Earth's heroin supply was coming from the place that we were guarding, We were literally guarding the poppy fields. Military, U.S. military, guarding the poppy fields that was supplying heroin to 94% of the earth.
That's insane. Because the other part is, there's a part in China, like the triangle. I'm trying to think of, what's it called? But the rest is Afghanistan, and that's how you're getting every drug in the world into the U.S. as far as actually making opioids. Because in the 90s, I worked in a pharmacy, which was a great place for a drug addict, especially when they weren't counting the pills. You could do it by weight. So you just say, hey, I got to go take out the trash, and you just, open up a bottle of, Valium or Percocets and just, fill your cellophane.
The Golden Triangle, the remote jungle-covered border region where Thailand, Myanmar, and Lao People's Democratic Republic meet, has seen an exponential surge in the manufacture and traffic of synthetic drugs.
Yes.
So that's what it is. It's the Golden Triangle.
That's what I was thinking of.
And that, I guarantee you, that had there was a major reason why we were in Vietnam. There was so much money coming out of there, and the idea that some corrupt factions of either the military or the intelligence agencies or whoever it is. So, and I'm not saying the agencies or the military themselves. I'm saying corrupt factions. Because there's always going to be those. Just like when the CIA sold drugs in South Central LA to pay for the Contras versus the Sandinistas. It's all real.
Well, look at Detroit. When you look at White Boy Rick. White Boy Rick was somebody who was caught selling crack. And you had Coleman Young, the mayor, who was pretty corrupt. And then you had the FBI who caught him and said, hey, here's some more crack. Just go into the city and find out who the dealers are. Then when White Boy Rick got brought in by the city, the FBI was like, we didn't do that. We'd never put crack into a black community. We don't know. We've never seen this kid in our life. So this kid, who's my cousin's friend, White Boy Rick, ends up going to prison. I don't know the exact time. For 30 years. He's 17. They try to name him as a kingpin. And again, he's a white boy in Detroit who's 17. He's not a kingpin of shit. And he served the longest time because Coleman Young was pissed he was dating his niece. So he goes... He goes away, and then while he's in jail, they have him sign a thing that said he stole a car so his sister didn't have to go to jail. So finally, they let him out for all this wrongdoing that he never did, this sentence that was batshit. And then he has to go right from that jail to Chicago to serve time for stealing a car while he was in prison. His story is crazy. There's a documentary called White Boy, and it's that's the one with McConaughey, which is a good movie.
McConaughey was in the movie?
Yeah, McConaughey plays his dad. My uncle knew the actual guy. He said he was kind of a dipshit. He would sell guns very obviously out of his basement. They live 2 blocks over.
So is this guy alive now?
Oh, he's still alive, yeah.
Is he out?
He's
White
out.
Boy Rick? That's him?
That's him now. He got out just a few years ago.
Jesus Christ.
So he was in there
How old is he now?
Oh, I don't know. Well, he went in the 80s. So.
Oh, my God.
And I think he got out around 2020. So, yeah, if you see the documentary White Boy, I highly recommend. Yeah, see, a teenage drug informant for the FBI, but then they denied ever talking to him.
Look at it says above where the M&M picture is, White Boy Rick releases his own marijuana strain.
Yes. That's the good thing about Detroit now is it's all insanely legal.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Freeway Ricky Ross is doing that in L.A.
Is he really?
Yeah. Freeway Ricky Ross,
Yeah.
who was selling the drugs that in L.A. that paid for the Contras versus the Sandinistas.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's got his own weed line now.
I know a few guys who were heavy busted in the late 90s, and now they all have stores, and it's just hilarious to me.
You would think that they would shy away from that.
No, they just smoked. Even after, I was still okay.
But my thinking is, it's still federally illegal.
It is.
To open up a store and have that your primary source of income, a Schedule I drug, according to the government, it seems risky as fuck for someone who's already been inside.
Oh, dude, it really... Well, it's odd that they could get the permit for it.
I know.
Or at least they know someone who got the permit for it and they work there, so
Their
maybe I
sister.
shouldn't let out too much. Yeah.
Their grandmother or something.
Yeah, that's who owns the store.
Yeah.
It's a 95-year-old lady. But if you go to parts too, it's weed store, vape store, weed store. You're I can't believe you pack this many into a block.
Yeah.
It's not like a liquor license that takes forever to get. It seems pretty easy.
We've all joked about stalking each other online, but let's not forget, some people do it for real. Remember the Minnesota State Representative and her husband who were shot dead in their home? Authorities now think her killer found her home address and the names of her family members from data brokers. So how can you keep your personal information private? ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is an app that hides your IP address and reroutes all of your online activity through secure, encrypted servers. That means data brokers and the scammers and criminals they sell to won't have a shred of your personal information. But what if your info is already out there? No sweat. ExpressVPN has a feature called Identity Defender, which is a free add-on for U.S. customers. Identity Defender helps get your information taken down fast. It's the best tool to stay safe and regain privacy in a dangerous world. ExpressVPN is fast, easy to use, it works on all your devices, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And right now, you can get 4 extra months free if you tap the banner or go to expressvpn.com/Rogan. That's expressvpn.com/Rogan. And if you're watching on YouTube, get your 4 free months by scanning the QR code on screen or by clicking the link in the description. I wonder if there's like weed store wars.
There's gotta be.
There must be. They're fighting over profits. They're all on the same street together.
Well, I was just in Albuquerque last weekend, and they had the same thing where I'm like, so it's weed store, massage parlor, vape store, buy here, rent here, car lot, you buy here, pay here, weed store, weed store, weed store. It's crazy how legal it is in a state.
Yeah, it all depends on the state.
Yeah.
Right? In Texas, it's just medical, and I think you have to have AIDS. I think you have to be basically dead.
Yeah, they only wanted to give it to the bad AIDS people.
They're expanding that, though. They're looking at expanding that. If the federal government just changed the designation or distinction or whatever you would say it is, like from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 or something like that, which is reasonable, that's what they should do.
Well, the whole thing is ridiculous, and that's how you get organized crime. I mean,
100%.
Look at Prohibition. Detroit was one of the first places to have it when it was 3 years before they actually made it nationally outlawed. And that gave birth to the Purple Gang, who Capone was even afraid of. And I mean, those guys were fucking ruthless. And they would just go over to Canada because it was right across the river. And they would just either take a boat or in the winter they would drive. And of course they'd send some underling to drive to figure out how heavy the ice was, so they knew if they put that many kegs in a thing, you'd die. So there's just Model Ts at the bottom of the river.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's cool. A lot of the old mansions still have the tunnels that will lead out into the river that the bootleggers used to use.
Wow.
It's really fascinating.
So Canada never went prohibition, huh?
No, and it was right there. Like, you could throw a rock.
You just take a drive to Toronto.
Yeah, just go right
at partying.
Yeah.
Like a civilized person. Well, they have legal weed up there, too.
Yeah,
the whole
they do.
Country.
Yeah, this is one of them.
Look at that Model T at the bottom of the river.
And this was a guy who's like, I got a whole bunch. And then halfway,
that's fucking badass.
The ice went out. Yeah, dude, the Purple Gang was ruthless, man.
I never heard of that before.
They were probably the first Jewish gang. They had Irish members as well. They were the Bernstein brothers. Their parents owned a shoe store. And like the legend is they were called purple because that was the color of rancid meat. So they hated the name because they thought it sounded gay. But they still ran with it. But when you see pictures of them all lined up in like mug shots, like they would do stuff like walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I like your ring. And they'd be like, thanks. And then a guy would just like cut the dude's finger off and he would take his ring. Like they were like the level of cruelty these guys would inflict on people to take over a city was next level.
Wow.
And
never heard of this before.
Yeah, dude. Even Capone wouldn't mess with them because he was over in Chicago and needed some of these guys to supply the liquor.
Wow, when the Purple Gang ruled Detroit. So is that a documentary where it says the Purple Gang?
That might be. They did a mob museum thing on it I went and saw in Vegas. Like that book right there, The Organized Crime in Detroit, that's a great book and it's got a lot of fun photos. But yeah, they were as ruthless as you could absolutely get.
Go to that first picture in the upper left-hand corner and make it big. Look at their faces, man.
Yeah, none of them are happy.
Those are hard-looking dudes.
Yeah, they had a rough life. So yeah, a lot of them were just like stray kids that were Irish that were just abandoned by their parents. And then the rest were these Jewish kids whose parents owned a shoe store.
Wow.
And I mean, eventually they dismantled, the Italians took over. But, you know, during Prohibition, they reigned.
Wow.
Yeah,
Never heard of that before.
It's a really cool story that I've always wanted to see in a movie, and nobody's been able to execute it. And I would love to see it.
Maybe somebody will now that you just got the story out.
I hope people do, because it's such a cool story.
It sounds crazy.
Like the level of Detroit mob too that's been around is just, it's wonderful. I shouldn't say wonderful, but I love it.